Yeah, I sheared a sheep.
Yeah. Sherpa jacket. I dig it. All right. I guess
We're back to classic halftime headwear here.
they called a touch. Oh, they called timeout. Mike McCarthy icing the Seahawks. That was not a touchdown. We still have 7 seconds
Oh my
remaining.
god!
We don't even know what the I'll keep you posted with the play by play. Al Michael
I
style.
don't love
Yeah.
the ability for like coaches to be able to call timeouts. The icing the kicker thing,
Yeah, it's
stuff
stupid.
like that. Far like you should have to call it with like 5 seconds left.
15 seconds on the play clock seems like a fair cutoff to me. Unless, sometimes it's
The
if you're a
offense should be able
defense,
to do whatever
it's
they want. Like,
yeah, right.
because in basketball, true, can you call a timeout
Another
on defense?
touchdown again. This one's to DK Metcalf. So if you had an anytime touchdown on Noah Fant, deep apologies to you. Oh no, that's a flag now. This is so dumb. Oh, it's on the Cowboys. So we're gonna.
It's on DeRon Bland again.
It wasn't on Bland again.
I don't know.
Oh my God, DeRon Bland is having he's having one of his worst days as a pro.
Yeah, people is DeRon Bland the defensive player of the year? He kind of sucks at some stuff outside of jumping routes.
Yeah, all the advanced metrics.
To be fair to him, we said that about Diggs his first year because he was very, his big year where he had all the picks and he was feast or famine. He's hurt right now. Obviously, can't judge this year as much, but he improved quite a bit as just a fully rounded defensive player. So I believe Bland can come around. They have a good.
Well, yeah, he went from well below replacement level to a little bit above, and has gotten very, 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 very fortunate pick sixes this year. But that's it. His numbers are good, but he's had some bad coverage. Yeah,
I joked a little in the newsletter about like I might just come in and try to middle the second half.
Sure.
If we get but what's stopping Dallas right now besides Dallas's red zone play calling?
Nothing.
They're like hot knife through butter, and they're in a game state where I was looking at it. I'm like, what if it's like 28-4, 28 to a real common score, 28-4, and like we turn into
28-4, yeah. 2 safeties and 4 touchdowns. Yeah.
Well, I think it would have been a field goal and a 1 point safety.
Okay.
After a Dallas touchdown, and Dallas would have also had 3 2-point conversions in that scenario to get to 28. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in a game state where Dallas was fucking them up, I could see an under. But where Dallas has to keep their foot on the gas, they're looking pretty good on offense.
Yeah, we could. This game could land in the 80s. It should land in the 80s, and it should be in the 50s right now. Like a realistic fair score. A realistic fair score right now should be about 28-28, and it is 21-20. So we have 41 when we should have 56. That's fine. The Cowboys defense looks like they spent the week not preparing for the Seahawks, but instead thinking about the Eagles. Meanwhile, DeRon Bland spent the week reading about how he was going to be defensive player of the year. If he got a couple more pick sixes, he was going to be the defensive player of the year. He's seeing awards and dollar signs, and he did not show up today. Oh my God, is he playing poorly?
Dallas's team total is going to be like 14.
I guess two questions for you. You ready? Yeah, Dallas team total. I mean, I would just say second half over 24.5 is probably notable. Yep. Yeah. Okay. 24.5. The side is
what is the prevailing line?
Dan, Dallas is -4.
Okay. What do you have for a total though at like Chris?
24.5. So we need 4 touchdowns, which I think is doable. The refs are calling a game for the offense here. The refs are calling a game to make it competitive here. The Cowboys could get 28 points on them on their own.
All right, I'll ride. I'll double down.
I mean, it's crazy.
We're riding kind of a hot streak. We got both Thanksgiving games right. We didn't do Detroit in the morning, and then we had Sunday night correct, and then we just went with that Hawkinson play from the chat from our guy Zero AO or whatever. That wasn't ours, but that hit, and like he had like 3 catches on the first drive out of half, and the Vikings still did lose. But good job to him. Thank you, Zaro. I do have. Okay, we're gonna take this over. That's fine.
It's just play over. I don't think
Dallas should score. And if you want to take the Dallas team total over, I don't blame you there either. They should score. They should be getting this ball. They should they should be getting this ball moving. They need to just stop with some of the Pollard stuff that's not working. He doesn't have the juice today. He's missed a couple of really bad blocks. Obviously, that sack in the red zone was pretty rough. I think that was partially on the offensive lineman, though. So, I do have a take.
Hit me.
After a field goal, if you have any pent-up frustration as a defender, and you're not worried about getting kicked out of the game later, because that's the only downside of this, you should just knock a fucker down after a made field goal. There is no positive to that penalty for Dallas.
No, you gain nothing.
You kick from the 50, so what can you do? You pop it up. They can just call fair catch. You kick it long. It's a 25. There's nothing you can do outside of like some crazy onside kick because you're in plus territory. Like that penalty sucks. They should really actually look at that and start giving that penalty on like.
Can you squib it
after the kick
and force them to return it?
At all.
Can you squib it and force them to return it?
You could squib it, but I mean, at that point, how long does it take to get down there? You're probably going to have a guy run up and grab it at like the 18, 20 yard line.
Well, he could fumble it though.
That's fair. Like the squib that's about it. It's not strong. I thought about that penalty. I'm like, this kind of sucks. It doesn't help them at all.
Okay. Well, Brink says breaking news. Not even kidding. Tomorrow is Legends Night in Loudonville, New York. If you don't know what that means, look it up. Educate yourself.
It ain't New Rochelle, but it'll do.
Okay. Couple of thoughts about this game for real. You ready? Number one, Geno Smith looks amazing. He's throwing darts. Huge ass. I've
seen him in a month.
Yeah. Much healthier than the last time we saw him play football. Whatever they did to treat him worked. Number two, the Seahawks uniforms are pretty sharp. I think this may be a look good, feel good, play good type of deal for the Seahawks.
I said to my wife and son they looked pretty. I felt a little girly about that, but they do that blue. It just looks like a gorgeous lake on a beautiful day.
I kind of hope that the Seahawks run out of steam a little bit here, and there's value to bet Seattle next week against the Niners at a giant number. Because Abe Lucas and the protection in general for the offensive line has been good. Micah Parsons had an almost. I don't know if there's been any other sacks. Let me take a quick look here. I don't think there have been. Yes, Geno Smith has not been sacked tonight. He made a very athletic play to avoid the sack by Micah Parsons, which is Micah Parsons has 2 QB hits. Damone Clark has 1, so he's gotten hit 3 times. Has not been sacked.
He's had good pocket presence. It's been better. He's been taking too many sacks over the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
That instantly, those are such, especially on early downs.
Yeah,
that's such a just a negative EPA play for your offense, especially when you're, trying to do it against a good defense. So instantly, it's just going to be such a better offense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. We've had a lot of. I guess there's an aggressiveness from the Seahawks tonight. Like they knew they were coming into a rock fight, and they were like, some coaches come in like Ron Rivera did last week, and are like, you know what, we're gonna play keep away from these guys, and we're gonna be real slow, and we're gonna run the clock down, and we're gonna really make and ultimately that just makes you get your ass kicked even harder. The virility of the Seahawks tonight and their interest in attacking downfield has been pretty cool in terms of just entertainment, surely. So those are my 3 Seahawks thoughts. My Cowboys thoughts we already kind of covered. Deron Bland is a mess tonight. The Cowboys defense kind of having a little bit of they were looking ahead to Philly maybe.
Getting aggressive against the secondary works because they're physical, and especially they couldn't have known that maybe the refs were going to be this happy with the flags, but it's working out because they're making these corners and these coverage players get physical, and they're getting all the calls. Like, everyone's looking good. We've seen some pretty good catches, but even when they're not, it's just good routes, getting in good position to attract penalties like that.
Yeah. I mean, Dak Prescott's numbers are going to be absolutely absurd in this game. He's going to be putting pressure on number 1 spot in the EPA rankings.
Yeah, what's his yardage at, Drew, right now?
He is 18 of 24 for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 scrambles for 16 yards.
Our prop play at Profit Exchange was yes, no on the 275 or more.
That's going to get there, yeah.
It was pretty even. I feel like the liquidity was pretty even. So
yeah, interesting. Here's an interesting one for you.
For a broken leg or something, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't
cheer for that. Here's an interesting one for you. You ready?
Yes.
CeeDee Lamb has 9 targets tonight.
Jesus Christ, really?
7 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Okay. He came into this game as number 1 among all skill position players in total EPA so far this year, ahead of Mr. Tyreek Hill, who seemingly has already been awarded the Offensive Player of the Year.
He's already cleaning off the shelf for it.
The Dolphins' offense does not look as good as they once did. The weather is getting colder. They got to play a game in a mucked up FedEx Field this week. He's dealing with an injury. Like
I kept bringing up CeeDee Lamb, and he has these games and he doesn't adjust in the market hardly. I kept bringing him up and like, oh, he plays on Thanksgiving. He has all these standalone games, and he's just not getting. I don't know why he's not getting respect. It's so weird. He's one of the best offensive players. Like he's absolutely in. Outside of quarterbacks, it's Tyreek, CMC, AJ Brown, and CeeDee Lamb. Those are like, and you could make a case for like the Jeffersons and the Chases, but they haven't been healthy. They haven't had their quarterbacks. But like right now, those are like that's my starting 4.
If I'm taking crazy pills here. Did you know Christian McCaffrey is the current favorite in this market?
It's kind of been close back and forth. Like it depends where you look. I think Tyreek is favored at some places.
DraftKings right now, it's -105 McCaffrey, +105 Hill. AJ Brown is 14-1. CeeDee Lamb is 12-1.
Yep,
that ain't right. Okay, let's do another. Let's add another play to our second half portfolio here. You can bet on this market as we speak while this game is happening. CeeDee Lamb realistically comes out of this game with 15 catches for 200 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns.
FanDuel, see what I think theirs is even longer.
Oh, do they keep it up during games? I know.
I'm not so sure.
I have no idea.
I think they're a little less about that life. I'm keeping it up.
They're a little less willing to risk it all during a game happening. Yeah.
For Defensive Player of the Year to come up on Monday because of
everybody was sitting on that sucker, and now everybody feels like, oh yeah, well Garrett's just going to be fine. Oh yeah, we'll see if he's effective.
He was doing push-ups today, so
yeah. Well, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Same as playing real speed and going up against offensive.
Is Metcalf a top 10 receiver?
Right now, you mean in odds, or is he a top 10 receiver?
No, someone asked, is he a top 10 receiver?
Not the way he's played this year, no.
No, it's been tough because some of that has been on the injuries on the offensive line and how Geno and that unit has played. Yeah. At the top of his game, he's top 15 though.
I will give him top 20, but not top 10.
I'm going to give him top 15.
Okay. That's generous.
Someone says BetMGM is 16-1. Yeah, people, it's hard to get a bet down there though.
No idea what you're talking about.
Your wives.
Never heard of. Yeah, never heard of them. I don't see it. I don't think FanDuel has it open, but
I think they take it down.
Like right. 12-1 is it's still not right. Like CeeDee Lamb, like I know that like the voters aren't looking at. They're not on the NFL Fast Star updating it every day, looking at breaking down the total EPA for all these players. I know that, but I was surprised when I looked it up that the number 1 receiver was the number 1 receiver in EPA this year.
Drew? Go pull up yardage totals for the year. That's why we're at where we're at.
It's not that.
No, it's not that big.
That desperate.
But if he wins it and he has an 1,800 yard season, what are you gonna do? They're gonna give it to him. That's what voters feel.
He's on record that he wants to go break 2,000. But here's the thing: he has to average more for his remaining games than his career average per game. Right. So he has to continue to exceed to get to 2,000.
I don't think he's actually going to get to 2,000. I think
it's not going to happen.
18 is where he's kind of landing for me.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
But yeah, maybe he blows up prices are better usually, but they take them down all the time. And they're slower up during the early part of the week too, which is whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so total touchdowns right now, McCaffrey has the lead with 16. Tyreek has 10. CeeDee Lamb is really not leading in anything. So maybe that's why he's so cold. Keenan Allen has the receptions lead, but that's probably going to go away with how hurt he is. I don't even know if he'll end up finishing the season. I don't know what's going to happen with LA. It's tough for me to see CeeDee Lamb running down Tyreek Hill in any other receiving categories.
Yeah.
Even with an absolute explosion of a game today.
And he still can tonight, but between Thanksgiving and tonight, he needed to just have monsters.
Yeah, I really don't understand the CMC thing though.
He just says he's gonna have like 25 touchdowns, man. What if he has a couple games where he scores 2-3 here? Suddenly there's 3 games left. He has like 21 touchdowns. Like that's hard to ignore. Remember who was it? Sean Alexander? Do you remember that season?
Dude, there were 3 MVP seasons where a running back set the all-time touchdown record. Marshall Faulk in 2000, Sean Alexander in 2005, and then LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006.
Oh, the LT season was so good though. Like he legit was. He was a fucking problem.
Yeah. Rushing, receiving touchdowns combined, McCaffrey is at 16 and Hurts is at 11. How about that? Jalen Hurts might be in the mix for most touchdowns.
Another Andrew is asking about resting Lamb if they have the wild cards locked up. See, there's some interesting things too, because Miami is in a really good spot with their division. If there's we have the 2 seed locked up, are they resting players because they'd have to play wild card weekend? San Francisco could be in that same spot where are they resting players because they have the 2 seed locked up? So basically everybody involved, including AJ Brown, if he popped off, had a couple of games and jumped up the odds.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're all in some spots where it's like, oh, why would I play week 18?
Tyreek Hill a hair ahead of Christian McCaffrey in the yards from scrimmage category. CeeDee Lamb is actually he is in the mix there. I guess he needs to explode in the second half of this game. He needs to explode.
Has it started? What's going on?
The Eagles game. Amazon's doing some stupid shit.
We're in overtime.
We're in overtime. Finally, at long last. The Seahawks get the ball first. A Seahawks touchdown here would be interesting. Very interesting.
I bet on the Seahawks to miss the playoffs today, though. So
yeah, you know what? I really just it'll be interesting, and I don't want to sweat this, but it'll be funny if there are shenanigans about getting this home with a 2-point conversion because it is 20-21. At some point
we get 25. We get to 25 without the 4th touchdown. Yeah. We got that in a different game. What game was that? I had an over 24 flat in a weekend second half earlier. Like I think it was last weekend, and it was 3 touchdowns, a field goal, and a 2-point conversion.
Oh, was that in Jacksonville and Houston?
I think so.
Jacksonville scored and went
second half. Second half over 24.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a funny one. Yeah. So. Needed it too, like because it landed 25, right? Yeah.
Yep, that was all the points we had.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you have teasers, praying for you.
What number do you think people teased? 8.5?
See, and that's the thing. I don't know what the juice is on some of these legals. Like I'm guessing people aren't going and getting nuts with it when it's like minus 140 for a 6-pointer, but. Like there were places that were hanging 8.5 minus 115 today, like just late this morning instead of the 9.5 that you saw at some of the sharper shops.
There's been some half total shenanigans. Did the pick 6 at the end of the first half by was it Javon Holland? for the Dolphins? The pick was that. Did that flip the first half total from an under to an over? I think it might have.
Yeah, the Jets Dolphins game.
Yeah. That was going under and it went over.
Yeah, that was. Well, there was 2 pick sixes in the last minute. That game had like 10 points through it. Remember? There was like a minute.
I didn't watch that game, man. I didn't watch that game.
Watch every minute. There was like 10.
I didn't watch any of that.
There was 10 points after like there was a minute left or something, and they both threw pick six. It was
flipped the first half total and it flipped the Jets plus to the Fins. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, but they'd gotten
side and total
pick six too. But still, like that, if you had that side or if you had that total, I mean, that's walk off a bridge kind of shit.
Oh yeah. Yuck, man. Yuck.
That game was kind of nuts.
The Tim Boyle experience. All right, hey, you want to play a game?
It's like Saw. I've never seen those.
No. Don't think too hard about this. Just give me your gut number. Give me a number. Okay, you ready? Don't think too hard about this. How many active quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl?
3.
It is 4.
Mahomes, Stafford.
Okay.
Are we counting Rodgers?
No, he's not active. That was probably one of the tricks. See, there are 5 quarterbacks who are currently playing who have won a Super Bowl, but he's inactive.
Mahomes, Rodgers, Flacco. I'm counting Flacco. Fuck me.
Flacco. That's true. Flacco, he's won a Super Bowl.
He did win it, and then
Russell Wilson. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So what's funny is, we twice this year we've had a head-to-head between Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. It was Mahomes, Russ both times. Right? The third head-to-head is this week. Rams Browns. We get a matchup of 2 Super Bowl champions. These are rare. Probably only 3 we're going to get all year, right? I don't think there's any other matchups coming. But
Jimmy's not active.
That should have been a walk-in touchdown, Gino. What are we fucking doing here? Jimmy is not active. He also didn't. Did he win a Super Bowl with the Patriots?
He has 2 rings with New England. I don't think he's not the starter. I'm
not counting it. Counting it.
Flacco. Honestly, even with what Patrick Mahomes has done, Patrick Mahomes has not had. Oh God, this is gonna. I do not believe if you take any of Mahomes's postseason runs where he won the Super Bowl, either of them, they're more impressive than what Flacco did.
Yeah.
And I think I think part of that is because Flacco's baseline was here, and what he did for those 4 games was just so fucking nuts. It's like, how does he keep getting away with it meme?
How does he keep getting away with it?
Against the Denver team, like they were dead. Like that was a team that should stomp them.
Who was it that caught the ball? Jacoby Jones? Was it Jacoby Jones who caught the ball over Ronald Darby?
I think it was Darby who just mistimed his jump. I remember watching it. I'm like, oh no, you jumped so soon. You're fucked.
Flacco was Eli-esque. That was a great comp because Eli's son running on both of those titles was absolutely wild. The second one especially, I thought. Okay, so that was one kind of historical trivia I had for you. Number 2, this isn't trivia, but just kind of out of curiosity. What's the most entertaining Seahawks Cowboys moment
from today?
No, just as in history. Seahawks Cowboys game. What do you think of? What's your favorite Seahawks Cowboys moment? Hasn't come up on the broadcast as far as I know, because I haven't been listening.
I feel like you're goading me into a game I can't remember right now. And you're thinking
there's a very famous moment.
With Seahawks, all I think about, I just keep thinking of the Fail Mary.
That was against the Packers.
Oh no, Romo
the Romo hold.
And I swore he was going to get to the end zone. He looks like he's gonna get there. I'm like, oh,
so
maybe
close.
this time he gets
So
there.
close. Okay, so here you go. Ready? So that was 21-20 Seahawks, right? Like just abject luck box. I don't think there's really any other way to. Oh yeah, Geno Smith. Wheels. The wheels on Geno Smith.
What do we got?
Unbelievable.
They
there's
score?
a flag. There's a flag. There's a flag.
There's a flag.
Decline it. Decline it. The hold. By the way,
points.
There's been some super soft holds. If this is a makeup hold for the hold on the fourth down, is it on the defense? Okay.
Yeah, it's defensive holding.
Okay.
Defensive offside, I'll call it.
Okay. It's a hold. It was a hold. Yeah. Okay. So take these results from the Pete Carroll era, right? I want you to rank these results in absurdity. Okay.
Okay.
The Romo botched hold, the Blair Walsh miss, and the 2-point conversion, onside kick recovery in the NFC Championship game against the Packers. Rank those three in terms of how did this happen?
Just because an onside kick is, even back with the old rules, it was so hard. Like, I got to put that second because the Blair Walsh kick. I mean, it was like a 19-yard field goal. Like, that's the kind of shit that high schoolers don't miss.
Yeah.
And I know I've told this story 1,000 times, but I watched that game and I was still a fan at that point. I watched that game from a cruise ship, and it just you couldn't even enjoy the rest of the day. Like everyone, like you guys want to go see a show? You guys want to go to the bar? I'm gonna go lay in my cabin. Like, no, leave me alone. I need a sad nap now. This sucks. It was like an early game too, so it was like the middle of the afternoon. I should have had a nice day. I cannot, and I watched it on like a 70-foot screen by the pool. Just look at the ball going off to the left. My God, the onside kick is second. Like the Romo thing, it's crazy. When's the last time you saw a botched snap?
Was he even the regular holder that year for them, or was he just out there because somebody got hurt?
I don't know.
Was like the punter was the regular holder and he was out there in relief duty, or like he was out there because they trusted him in his hands more, and then he botched it? Like, I don't remember the details of this. This was 2007. This is a long time ago.
It feels like the holders used to be backup quarterbacks so much, and he was the backup, and then he came.
Was that his first year?
Even if it wasn't, maybe they just said, well, he's so good at holding. Like, what's the harm? It's extra points. Because that back then, like, I don't know, like you just.
You know what? That was his first year as the starter. That was the first year as a starter. He went 6-4.
Quarterback was often the holder. You have punters do it quite a bit, but I'd say back in the 90s, more often it felt like it was a backup QB.
Oh man, yeah, he was. He came in. He came in as the backup for who? This is a fun one.
Drew Bledsoe.
How did you remember that?
Because Drew Bledsoe.
How did you remember that?
He launched Romo's career after launching Brady's career.
I can't believe.
And do you remember our good friend who isn't on gambling Twitter as much, but Sports Cheetah had a. Remember the Dak Prescott?
Oh yeah, the Dak 500 to 1.
That's something that repeated in Cowboys history, where these young quarterbacks had to come in and then say, "Oh shit, this guy's good."
Bang.
Romo was fun. I always enjoyed Romo as a player. He was like, he went all out. He was you could tell he loved the game. He's a spaz as a replacement. Remember how good he was as an announcer for the first year?
So the thing is, people were so excited because it was so different, and then it got real old real fast. But it's plateaued. He's doing the Super Bowl this year. I'm not disappointed in that. He
was just so good to start. He flashed so hard. Like, remember when he would always guess the play?
Yeah, that was fun.
Stop doing that.
That was fun. I can't imagine why. He probably stopped guessing it because he probably lost interest in really studying the plays and tendencies of teams.
He's like, this job is so much easier.
Yeah, he's like, I can just actually. Oh, you mean I don't have to guess? I can just mail it in. Cool. No, but I think he's perfect.
Jim.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He peaked, but he hasn't troughed to the point where I'm like, get this guy off the main broadcast. He's still fine. Yeah, he's fine.
Nance is fine. I prefer Nance as a golf guy.
Yeah, I will always take Nance as a golf guy over Nance's. Yeah, I will always take that. We got another flag. I hope this is on the defense because that would give me all of the green lights that this is just going to fly as a total.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Holding defense. All right, man. Enjoy the second half. Best of luck.
Good job. Comments, you guys were
your total got home, right? You had 47.5.
Yep.
Yeah, there's 48
I had
47.
I put 47.5 this morning because
you got it. You're good.
Yep.
You're good.
Easy.
You're good.
Easy. Yep. Looks like we're back.
Yeah. All right.
Be a good weekend. Denver plus 3.5. Put your firstborn on it, huh?
I like the under there, but yeah.
Don't
do it. Dude, have fun. Go nuts.
Good luck. Have fun.